The difference between a stumbling block and a stepping stone is how you use it. Life can frequently feel like an uphill battle, a never-ending cycle of attempting to find happiness in the present moment, pursuing dreams that seem just out of reach, and trying to gain acceptance. Happiness is said to be priceless, but it frequently feels like holding on to a slippery slope. How do we turn those stumbling blocks into stepping stones? Laughter is like a watermelon. It's best when shared and has the power to slice through the toughest days. These days, it's been hard to find reason to be optimistic. Join Master Sito and his student on a melon of a journey filled with humor, where they peel back the layers of happiness and success. This lighthearted tale shows how facing challenges with a seed of positivity and a juicy sense of humor can turn life's toughest moments into sweet, refreshing adventures. Watch now for an inspiring and entertaining lesson. Let's dive into how happiness can untap your potential. Welcome to Untapping Your Potential, where we will share with you motivational stories, motivational figures, comeback stories, and public speaking tips that will keep you growing and inspire you to take action. An elderly monk named Master Sito used to reside in a tranquil village tucked away in the mountains. He was known far and wide for his wisdom and, of course, his sense of humor. One day, a young and eager student named Sam approached the master and said, "Master, I want to learn the secret to happiness and success. Please teach me." Master Sito's eyes glowed as he gazed at Sam. He said, "Very well, young one." Smiling after a long silence, "You have to finish a quick task first, though. Purchase the largest, juiciest watermelon available at the market. After that, avoid dropping it as you move through the village while holding it on your head. After you finish this, I'll teach you what you want to learn." Sam was determined to prove himself, but he was perplexed nonetheless. "A watermelon?" he asked. "There must be another way to find happiness besides this." Sam headed to the market without hesitation and discovered the biggest watermelon he had ever seen. He could hardly lift it because it was so large, but he was determined, so he balanced it on his head and started walking through the village. Under the intense morning heat, people chuckled as he passed, pointing to the young man who was having trouble handling the enormous fruit. Some made fun of him, encouraged him, and some even joined in on the goofy faces. As he trudged through the village, Sam maintained his focus, despite distractions and the uneven road, carefully balancing the watermelon. He started to sense the task's weight with each step. Well into the afternoon, people continued to stare at Sam, but he ignored them. He was aware that their eyes were burning into the back of his neck, but he didn't let that stop him from focusing on his objective and finding the answer to his query. Despite the difficulties he encountered, he found some humor in his situation. The ridiculousness of the circumstance amused Sam. He questioned why he had come here at all. As night was fast approaching, even though his arms were worn out and his neck hurt, he wouldn't let the watermelon drop. Despite the village's apparent constant mockery, he persisted and refused to give up. He was committed to seeing his project through to completion. He's almost close to Master Sito's hut. He could see it now. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Sam arrived at Master Sito's hut. Even though he was tired, his back hurt and his arms hurt, the watermelon was still whole. Sam lowered the fruit from his head and set it on the ground with great care, hoping Master Sito would say something encouraging or commending. But rather than receiving the acclaim he had anticipated, Master Sito started laughing uncontrollably. Now Sam was just really confused. "Young one, you did a great job," Master Sito said, wiping the tears from the eyes from laughing too hard. "Although you finished the task, it involves more than just balancing a watermelon, you see." Sam was very curious as to how carrying a watermelon and going through that ordeal would make anyone happy. He wasn't angry or annoyed, he was just baffled. The key to success and happiness is actually much easier than you imagine, Master Sito continued. Life is much like carrying that watermelon. It might seem burdensome, full of challenges, and full of people who will either support you or make fun of your difficulties. However, the most crucial thing for you, young people, is how you handle problems. You see, how you dealt the watermelon with humor, in addition to tenacity. You found happiness despite the hardships and didn't let the weight bring you down. Finding joy through the most difficult circumstances is the secret to happiness. Sam realized the truth of Master Sito's statement and stood silently. Suddenly, it all clicked in his head. The watermelon represented the burden of life's difficulties, and the trip through the village represents how life frequently seems full of outside distractions, uncertainties, and opinions. No matter how challenging the path, you could find serenity and happiness if you could bear those burdens with humor, patience, and a light heart. If you can handle those burdens with humor, patience, and a light heart, you can find peace and happiness no matter how difficult the path may be. Master Sito smiled kindly and said, "Remember, happiness is not about avoiding struggles or seeking perfection. The key is to embrace the journey, enjoy each step of the way, and have fun with the setbacks." After Sam gave Master Sito the watermelon, they laughed and joked with one another. With a new outlook, Sam walked out of Master Sito's hut that day. He had assumed that the key to happiness would be material or hard to achieve. Still, he found that humor and simplicity were the key. Sam strolled through the night, thinking about the day's events and staring at the sky. Now he understood that happiness and success aren't always found in a straight line, but rather in a path paved with joy, laughter, and tenacity. He came to see that life was like carrying a watermelon. Laughter is timeless, imagination has no age, and dreams are forever. Walt Disney. Just as the watermelon can be enjoyed at any age, so does our capacity for laughter. Sometimes life feels heavy, like carrying a large melon, but embrace the sweetness of the here and now and maintain your sense of humor. After all, if you relax a little, what are the risks? I understand that there are days when life is a bit too much. Sometimes the best you can do is simply get out of bed, but hey, that's a goal accomplished. Life can feel as tricky as juggling watermelons. But don't worry. These 3 phrases can help you deal with whatever life throws at you. 1. Approach problems with a sense of humor. 2. Stay focused and determined. And 3. Cultivate a joyful mindset. Do not take life too seriously. You will never get out of it alive. Albert Hubbard. Thanks for watching this video. How would you like to hear more motivational stories consistently? Do me a favor, support the channel by sharing and commenting below. And please make sure to like and hit that subscribe button to get the latest update. Soon, you will be on your way to feeling inspired.